Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattadarshan. Now this verse we are discussing in our last meeting. Sri Kṛṣṇa, Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa has concluded that all kinds of sacrifices that we are expected to do, the best sacrifice is to acquire knowledge. Acquire knowledge. Because whole this material conditioned life is due to ignorance. Therefore, the purpose of sacrifice, penance, yoga and philosophical discussion, everything, the ultimate aim is to acquire knowledge. And even in that knowledge field also, of course, transcendental knowledge, as we have discussed already, they are viewed in three different angles of vision. The knowledge of Brahmavad or impersonal absolute truth, and the knowledge of Paramatma, the localized super soul, and the knowledge of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of God. There are different stages of development of knowledge. But the first beginning knowledge is that we must understand that I am not this body. I am spirit soul, and my aim of life should be how to get out of this material entanglement. That is knowledge. That is the beginning of knowledge. And that knowledge, when develops gradually, the first perception knowledge is impersonal Brahma realization, and the next stage is the super soul realization, and the last stage is realization of the Supreme Personality of God. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have got this information that the tattva, that the absolute truth is realized in three visions. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdate. Brahma means impersonal absolute truth, and Paramatma means super soul, and Bhagavan means the Supreme Personality of God. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is Kṛṣṇa. You will find in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Kṛṣṇastu Bhagavan Swayam. There are descriptions of different manifestation of Vishnu or God, because God expands himself in various ways. We are also expansion of God. So similarly, there are degrees of expansion, and the central point or the primal Lord is Sri Kṛṣṇa. We have got evidences from various Vedic literature that Sri Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of God. The Bhagavad confirms Ete Chamsakala Pungsha Kṛṣṇastu Bhagavan Swayam, that there is a list of incarnation of Godhead. There are many, thousands and thousands of incarnations, and there is a list, especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a specific list. Now, after giving that list, the conclusion is made that ete changsakala purusha Krishnastu bhagavansa. Now, we have given the list, the author of the Srimad Bhagavad. But all these, the incarnation of Godhead, they are either plenary manifestation or manifestation of the plenary manifestation. Like that. Iti Chamsa. Amsa means plenary manifestation. And Kala means manifestation of the plenary manifestation. So, the conclusion in the Srimad Bhagavatam is that this name Kṛṣṇa, which is given here, because Kṛṣṇa also appeared, he proclaimed himself that that jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata tadatmanam srijamaham. So he is accepted as the original Supreme Personality of God. Similarly, in Brahma Samhita, another Vedic literature, that is also confirmed that Ishara Parama Kṛṣṇa Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Radi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many gods. Many gods means in one sense we are also God. God means controller, that's all. God, the literally meaning of God, this word, is controller, Ishara. So every one of us has some controlling capacity. Everyone. Either we control the family, I control the office, we control the state, we control the municipality, or so on, so on. Everyone is a controller. But nobody is the supreme controller. Similarly, if you go on, make your progress, then you come to the Brahma. Brahma is the controller of this whole universe. And there are many innumerable universes and innumerable Brahma also. And their controller is the Garbhodasai Vishnu. And the Garbhodasai Vishnu is controlled by Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu is controlled by Sankarshan. And Sankarshan is controlled by Narayan. And Narayan is controlled by Vasudev. And Vasudev is controlled by Baladev. And Baladev is controlled by Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, you will find in the Bhagavad Gita that Kṛṣṇa says, Matta paratara nannadasti kinchit dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, there is nobody greater than me. And Arjuna also accepted that you are asamortha. Nobody is equal to you and nobody is greater than you. And our Goswamis in Vrindavan, there were 6 Goswamis. They are very good scholars, especially Jiva Goswami. They have analyzed the characteristics of the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, and they have established that Kṛṣṇa has got all the transcendental qualities of Godhead in Kṛṣṇa. And in Narayana, there are 94% of the transcendental qualities of the absolute truth. Similarly, in Lord Shiva, there is 84% of all the transcendental qualities of the absolute truth. And in living being, as we are, we have got 78% of the transcendental qualities. That is also in fraction, not in full. So there are some scholars' analytical study like this. Now, the point is that Kṛṣṇa says that all kinds of sacrifices, whatever sacrifice you can undertake, there are different kinds of mention. Drabya yoga, jnana yoga, yoga yoga, So many, there are different types of yoga. But here, Krishna concludes all the different types of yoga. Sarva karmakhilam partha jnane puri samapate. Uh, Whatever yoga you can perform, that's all right. But that is the uh, different steps to come to the point of real knowledge. Just like you have got your Empire State Building here, and then two-story building. So you go on, you go to the 25th story, then go to the 50th story, go to the 70th, 75, 80, in this way. Unless you reach that 102nd story, that is not a perfect progress. Ah, that is also progress. Suppose if you have gone to the 85th story, that is also progress from the downwards. That's all right. But the highest perfection of knowledge is, so far we studied from the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan amanga prapaddate. Bahunam janmanamante. Bahunam means after many births of culturing knowledge. When he comes to the real knowledge, I mean the summit knowledge, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan, not the fools, but jnanavan. He specially mentions jnanavan. Jnanavan Manga Prapaddati. Jnanavan, the sign is that the Jnanavan surrenders unto the Supreme Lord Krishna. That is the highest stage of knowledge. Either you take it, grant it, just like Arjuna was advised by Krishna, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saranam braja. You give up, because you are my very confidential friend. Therefore, I say unto you that you don't bother with anything else. Just surrender unto me. This is the most confidence. So, in all points of view, if you make an analytical study of the Vedic literature, the ultimate summit knowledge is to surrender unto Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan manga prapaddate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudullava. And what kind of surrender? The surrender is full knowledge. After scrutinizingly studying all the process of self-realization or transcendental realization, when one comes to the perfectional point, he understands that Vasudeva Sarvam. Vasudeva, Krishna is everything. As it is conferred in the Brahma Samhita, that Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Sarva Karana Karana means a cause of all causes. Just like my existence, I have got this body, the cause was my father. And the father, his father was cause. You go on searching. His father, father's father, his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, go on. Searching. Don't think that because you cannot see just now your great-grandfather, oh, there was no father of the grandfather. Don't think like that. There was. Although he don't think that anything which is out of my sight because I cannot see, so there is no existence. No. This conclusion is not good. This is not very intelligent conclusion. Because I cannot see what is happening beyond this world, oh, that does not mean there is nothing beyond this world. So everyone wants to see God immediately. God you can see when you are perfectly qualified when you are in perfect knowledge, you can see God eye to eye, just like you are seeing me, I am seeing you. Oh, but that requires qualification. You have to wait. That qualification is Krishna consciousness. That qualification means Krishna consciousness. This Krishna consciousness begins with Sravanam, Kirtanam, Sravanam, hearing. We have to hear about Krishna. Just like this Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the preliminary study of understanding or hearing about Krishna. Uh, Hearing about Krishna. Just like, suppose I came to your country, in the United States of America, or in my childhood I heard of it in school, when I was reading geometry or something like history or geometry. I heard first of all. I did not come first of all. So hearing, when I understood, oh, that's a very wonderful country, and it is far away, and if I go there, similarly as you think also about going to India, so first of all hearing, hearing, and not immediately seeing what is America or what is India. First of all hearing. So similarly, if we want to see God, then we have to hear. That is the process. Krishna consciousness process is first is hearing. Sravana. Sravana means hearing. Then Kirtana. Kirtana means to chant about the glories, about the holy name, about the form, about the quality. Then this is association with Krishna. Because Krishna or God is absolute. He is not different from his name, from his quality, from his form, from his pastime. He is not different. So, the hearing and chanting of the quality or form or name of the Supreme, of the Absolute means our association with him. Association, direct association in transcendental quality. So, as we go on making association, then Krishna helps us to understand. Simnatang, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse, Simnatang Sakatha Krishna, Punnasavana Kirtana, Riddantasya Avadrani Vidhunati Suhit Satam. Suhit Satam. Krishna is sitting within your heart. Krishna is there, is acting as your spiritual master. Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru means the Guru or the spiritual master who is sitting in my heart. Chitta. So, Simnatang Sakata Krishna. When you begin to hear about Krishna, then the hearing of Krishna Katha, the topics about Krishna, is Punna Savana Kirtan. It is, if you do not understand, it will increase your virtue. Punna Savana Kirtana. Riddhantasya Avadrani. We have accumulated so much dust by our material contact, by so many years association with the matter. We have accumulated so much dirty things within our heart. That becomes gradually cleansed. Sinnatang Sakatha Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana Riddhantasya Avadrani. Riddhantasya means the dirty things which we have accumulated within our heart. That becomes clear. That how it is cleared? Riddhantasya Avadrani Vidhunati Suhit Kata. Sweet Krishna is friend of everyone, but he is special friend to the devotee. That we will find in Bhagavad Gita. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name drishyasti na priya. I am friend of everyone. Nobody is my enemy and nobody is my friend, but I am equal to everyone. Samo means equal. Jetu bhajanti mam vitta tesu tenu. But a person who is devoted to me and is engaged in devotional service with me, I have got special attention for him. Therefore, Krishna's another name is Suhit Satam. Satam. Satam means those who are trying for having eternal life. Because in this material world, we don't get anything eternal, everything temporary. Therefore it is called asat. Asato mam sadgama. The Vedic injunction is don't try to remain in this temporary world. Sadgamo. Just try to go to the eternal world. Tamasi ma jyotit gama. Don't try to remain in this darkness. You go to the kingdom of light. These are Vedic injunctions. So, Krishna, he is within our heart. Riddhantasya. Therefore, as soon as we become a little inclined towards Krishna, then from within our heart, he gives us the favorable instruction so that we can gradually make progress. Gradually, Krishna is the first spiritual master. And when we become more interested, then we have to go to a physical spiritual master. That is enjoined in the next verse. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattadarshi. Now, Krishna advises that if you want to know the transcendental science, then you just try to approach somebody, pranipatena, pranipatena, pariprasnena, and seva. What is pranipat? Pranipat means surrender. Surrender. You must select a person where you can surrender yourself, because nobody likes to surrender to anyone. It is where that we have got, everyone, we are puffed up with our, whatever knowledge we have got, everyone is puffed up. Oh, who can give me knowledge? There is a regular propaganda that for spiritual realization, there is no need of spiritual master. But so far Vedic literature is concerned, so far Bhagavad Gita is concerned, so far Bhagavad is concerned, so far the Upanishads and Vedic literature are concerned, they do not say. They say that there is need of spiritual master. Take for example the Upanishad, the Vedic Upanishad. In the Vedic Upanishad, it is said, Tad vijnanatham sa gurumeva avigachet sopiyam brahmanishtam, this mantra. That if you want to learn the transcendental subject, then the first point is that if you are eager to learn that subject, then in the material world also, suppose if I want to learn the art of music, then I have to find out somebody who is a musician. Without having the association of a musician, nobody can learn the art of music or any art. Suppose if you want to become an engineer, so you have to enter yourself in an engineering college or technical college and learn there. Nobody can become a medical practitioner simply by purchasing book from the market and reading at home. That is not possible. You have to admit yourself in a medical college and undergo training and practical examination, so many things. Simply by purchasing book, it is not possible. Similarly, if you want to learn Bhagavad Gita or any transcendental subject matter, here is the instruction uh, by Lord Krishna himself. Lord Krishna himself, because he is the speaker of this Bhagavad Gita, he says that tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena seva. Uh, you must go to a person where you can surrender yourself. That means you have to check who is the real person who can give me instruction on Bhagavad Gita or any Vedic literature or any scripture right. And not that to search out a person as a whimsical. No. You have to search out a person very serious, that who is actually in the knowledge of the thing. Otherwise, why you shall surrender? No, there is no necessity of surrender. But here it is said clearly that you have to surrender to your person. That means you have to find out such a person where you can voluntarily surrender. Without finding, your mission will not be fulfilled. Because very what first thing is, just like Arjuna, in the beginning, we have discussed that point. Arjuna was talking with Kṛṣṇa in friendly terms, just like friends. Kṛṣṇa was saying something, oh, you cannot, you are a Kshatriya, you are a military man, how can you give up this fighting? Just like friendly talk. But when Arjuna saw it, that our friendly talk will not make a solution, so he surrendered unto Kṛṣṇa that I, Tishatyaham sadhimam prapan. I just become surrendered disciple unto you. Please instruct me what is my duty. So this is the process. Here also Krishna advises that if you have to learn, say for Bhagavad Gita, then you have to go to a person where you can surrender. Not only surrender, not blindly surrender. You must be able to inquire. Pariprasna. The next qualification is pariprasna. Pariprasna means inquiry. Without inquiry, you cannot make advance. Just like a student in the school who inquires from the teacher is very intelligent. Even a boy, a child, if he inquires from the father, oh, father, what is it? What is it? That child is very intelligent. Very intelligent. So inquiry is required. So not only pranipata, oh, I have found out a very good spiritual master, very learned and very good soul, all right. I have surrendered, then all my business finished. No. That is not, you may have a very good spiritual master, but if you have no power to inquire, then you cannot make progress. Inquiry must be there. But inquiry, how inquiry? Not to challenge. Inquiry not that, oh, I can see what kind of spiritual master is. Oh, let me challenge this and put some irrelevant question and talk nonsensically this way and that way. Oh, that is not inquiry on the point. Pariprasna means inquiry on the point. And that inquiry should be seva. Seva means service. Not that, oh, I have inquired so many things from such and such person. Oh, I have not rendered any payment or any service, so I have gained. No, without service, your inquiry will be futile. So three things. Yes, pranipat, pariprasna and seva. Pranipat means you must have the qualification to at least to find out a person who is actually qualified to give you real instruction. That you have to do. That remains on you. Suppose you have to purchase some gold as jewelry, and if you do not know where to purchase, if you go to a grocer's shop to purchase a jewel, oh, then you will be cheated. If you say, go to a grocer's shop and ask, oh, can you give me diamond? He will understand that here is a fool. So, let him give him something. And this is diamond. what is this price? He can charge anything anywhere. When you come home, your relatives are, what is your brand? This is diamond, I went to the grocer's shop. So that kind of finding spiritual master will not do. You have to become a little intelligent. Because without being intelligent, nobody can make any spiritual progress. Athata in the Brahma Sutra, in the Vedanta Sutra, it is stated, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa means to inquire. Inquire about the supreme subject matter, Brahma. That, that requires a qualification. Ata. Ata means those who have become experience of this miserable life of this material world. They can inquire. They can inquire what is absolute truth, what is spiritual life. Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Similarly, in the Bhagavata also, it is stated, Tasmad Gurum Prabhaddeta Jigyasu Seya Uttamam. Seya Uttamam. Uttamam means the Udgata Tamam, that is transcendental. Tama means darkness. Anything of this material world that is in darkness, because this material world is dark. You know that the whole world, whole universe is dark. Therefore there is requisition of the sunlight, moonlight, electricity. It is dark. So Uttama means which is beyond this darkness. Beyond this darkness. That means transcendental subject, spiritual subject. In the spiritual world there is no darkness. So if anyone is desirous of inquiring about the spiritual world, then he requires to find out the spiritual master. Otherwise there is no necessity. For a man who wants to remain in this darkness for material benefit, suppose, I want some spiritual master, or I want to study Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta Sutra so that I may make some material improvement. That is not required. For material improvement, you can work. Just so many people are working, they are making, trying industry or something like that is prescribed. But if you are at all interested about the Brahma subject, the spiritual subject, then you require a spiritual master. That is clearly stated. Tasmat Gurum Prapadde. Tasmat means therefore one has to surrender unto the spiritual master. Who is Jignasu Sreya Uttamam, who is very much eager to understand about the transcendental subject. So any Vedic literature, the same instruction you will find as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Srivaya Upadekshanti te Jnanam Jnanina Tattvadarshana. Jnanina means Jnani, or a man who is in perfect knowledge. Perfect knowledge means one who has perfect vision of the perfect, not theoretical, but actual vision of the spiritual subject matter. He is called Jnani. Jnanina Tattva Darshana. Tattva means the absolute truth. Now, so far Tattva is concerned, you'll find in the Bhagavad Gita that Kṛṣṇa is the supreme Tattva, absolute truth. But he explains that Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschidjatati Siddha. Out of many thousands of people, a few people may try how to get a spiritual salvation. Not all. Everyone is not expected to hanker after spiritual salvation. That requires also many years qualification. So Manusyanam Sahasreshu, after many, out of many thousands of people, one is very much anxious for spiritual realization. And then Lord Kṛṣṇa says, Jatatamapi Siddhyanam, and out of many perfected spiritualists, some may know what is Kṛṣṇa. Just try to understand. First of all, out of many thousands of people, wants to have perfection in spiritual life, then those persons who have attained such perfection, out of them, one or two may understand what is Krishna. Now, the subject matter of Krishna is not so easy. It is very difficult also. But one can understand very easily. That process is also prescribed in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mam vijanati javam jasyami tattataha tato mang tattato gyatva visati tat anantaram. That is bhakti, devotional service. That devotional service, if you accept, you can understand that difficult subject matter of Krishna very easily. Bhaktamam abhijanati. Abhijanati means perfectly he can understand. Javan jasyami tattva. Tattva means the absolute truth as it is, he can understand. And tato mang tattato gatva, and after understanding the Krishna science very perfectly, he becomes eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom. These things are stated. So here we are discussing this point. The tadvidhi panipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnana tattadarshina. So if we actually want to reach that point of perfection and knowledge where we can fully surrender. Now, the intelligent person, according to my opinion, I have several times discussed this point, that if it is a point that after many, many births, when I am fully perfect in knowledge, I have to surrender to Krishna, then why not immediately surrender to him? Why shall I wait for many, many births? Oh, that is very intelligent proposal. If that is the end of perfection, then why not accept the perfection immediately? But people are doubtful. Somebody asked me that, and I think Mr. Moscow asked me this question, I answered this part, that his inquiry was how long it will take to be perfect in Krishna consciousness. I replied that Krishna consciousness can be had in 1 second, and it cannot be had in thousands of births and deaths. Why? But if we understand this principle, that after attainment of full knowledge, I have to ultimately surrender to Vasudeva Sarvamiti. I have to become the, some Mahatma, a great soul like that. Why not immediately surrender to Krishna? Why not become immediately this supreme, the great soul, some Mahatma, Siddhullava? That is the process. But we are, some of us, most of us, we are not prepared to accept immediately Krishna as the supreme. We have got many doubts. Therefore, in order to drive away, dissipate all your doubtful ideas, the Shastras, the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad are there. And if we make scrutinizingly study of these two books, we can understand the Krishna science very nicely, and our progress in the matter of Krishna consciousness will be definite. Thank you very much. If there is any question, Brahma and Super Soul, we have been discussing this morning, whereas just we began the verse and we have forgotten. Just like myself, I am soul, spiritual soul. My place is within this heart. Now, in the medical science, they have found it that the heart is the center of all vitality of this body. They have by science, and with modern materialistic science, they have found that whatever we are eating, it is going to the stomach, and it is being transformed into various types of secretion, and the important secretion is coming to the heart, and it is becoming red by coming to the heart. Then again, from the heart, there are many veins it is being distributed to different parts of the body. So, but they could not found that where is the point where from this vitality is coming. Where from this vitality is coming. They could not find it. They are localized that here is the source of all events. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita I find that Kṛṣṇa says, Matta sarvam pravartate, aham sarvasya prabhava, matta sarvam pravartate. I am the origin, fountain, head of everything, and everything what is being produced, it is from me. Similarly, the soul is a fragmental, fractional portion of Kṛṣṇa. So now, the modern scientists, they have localized the point where from the energies are coming. Now, that point is there. That fragmental portion of Kṛṣṇa is there. That is Brahma. And, but that is fragmental portion. So Brahma means this fragmental portion. And the Supreme Brahma, what was the question? Brahma, Super Soul. Super Soul is Kṛṣṇa. Super Soul is Kṛṣṇa. And we, I am, you are soul, you are Jiva. And the Supreme Soul is Kṛṣṇa. This verse, next morning we shall discuss, we come to this morning, up to that point. Uttama to Anyam, that verse. So, Super Soul is the Supreme Lord. Super Soul is also there. They are situated together. And from the Vedic Upanishad, we get this information. The two birds are sitting on one tree. The one bird is eating the fruit, and the other bird is simply witnessing. So witnessing bird is the Super Soul. And the bird which is enjoying and suffering of this material contamination or attachment, that is soul. Is it clear? Kṛṣṇa, yes, he is indeed and still more than higher position. Kṛṣṇa. We are very intelligent. This Super Soul is also partial representation of Kṛṣṇa. But just like the sun, the real sun, and the reflection of sun. If you have got thousands of pots in your presence, you will find the reflection of the sun in thousands of the pots. But the real sun is one. Similarly, this Super Soul is the reflection of the real, partial reflection of the Super. Is it clear? Just like you are standing here and at noon the sun is on your head, and 5,000 miles away you inquire from somebody, where is sun? He will say, oh, it is on my head. 5,000 miles this way, that way, anyway, you inquire. Many people, many thousands of people inquire. They will say, everyone will say that the sun is on my head. Similarly, although the sun is what? As he is perceived that he is present on everyone's head. Similarly, all of Kṛṣṇa is one, without a second. By his inconceivable, transcendental power, he can be present in everyone's heart. Akhilatma Bhuta, Goloka eva nivasati Akhilatma Bhuta. That is the power of Kṛṣṇa. That is the power of super soul. We cannot. Suppose I am sitting here, you are sitting here, you are not here at your home, I am not in India, I am sitting here. I cannot sit simultaneously in India and America. That is not possible for me, because I am not super soul. But the super soul can be present everywhere. You find this explanation in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Now we are discussing 4th chapter. When you go to the 13th chapter, this point will be more clearly. About the spiritual mind. So, your question should have been on the matter of spiritual mind, because we invite questions on the subject which is discussed on the spot. This is also relevant question because we did it on the Bhagavad Gita. Now we have discussed about the position of the spiritual master. Now if you have got any question about that, the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple, if you have got any doubt, if you have any question, that
One surrenders to a spiritual master. What then is their relationship to Krishna?
Spiritual master is the representative of Krishna. Therefore, surrendering to the spiritual master means surrendering to Krishna. He is a bona fide spiritual master. He, that's why I explained the sloka. Vidvantasta avadrani vidhunati sristatam. I'll cite here with one nice story in this connection. The story of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj was a child and he was insulted by his stepmother. So he went to his own mother and he prayed, my dear mother, he was 5 years old only. My stepmother has insulted me in this way. I was sitting on the lap of my father and he dragged me out. He told me that you cannot sit on the lap of your father. So you are the son of king. So he felt insulted and he went to his mother and cried. Then he asked his mother, what is the remedy? Because he was a son of a Kshatriya. He was revengeful. So his mother directed, my dear son, your father do not care for me. So he will not hear whatever I say. So if God can help you, then you can take revenge. Then your child, he said, oh, where is God? Oh, then mother replied, oh, we understand that God is in the forest. Somebody goes to the forest and realizes God. So you cannot go, my dear son. No, I shall go. So he went to the forest. He went to the forest and you are asking the tiger, oh, you are God? Oh, you are elephant, you are God? Just like a child. Then when he was so serious, then because God is within himself, then he was, Narad was sent to him that you go to the boy and what is, how is his answer, what is his actual point, go there. Just try to help. So this is the problem. When we are seriously anxious about understanding the science of God, then God is within you. He will make your relationship with such a spiritual master who will enlighten you further and further. So, practically, the spiritual master is the representative of Krishna. Now, it depends on me. The degree of my serious thought. If I am seriously about actually perception of the Supreme Lord, then I will get such a spiritual master who can give me information of the Supreme Lord. But if I want something else, then Krishna will help in that way also. You will get something else. So, the spiritual master is the representative of Krishna. And Krishna is sitting within our heart. And as you are anxious, your degree of anxiety will be held by Krishna by sending similar quality of food.